Good afternoon, folks. This is Robert Chappell, Executive Editor of Madison365 with your daily update for today, which is Tuesday, August 17th. The big news today, about 10 o'clock this morning, Public Health Madison, Dane County announced a new mask mandate, which lasts from Thursday. So it's not in effect yet. It goes into effect midnight Thursday morning, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And will be in effect until September 16th, at which point it'll probably be extended, I would imagine. I don't think, unless something drastic changes, this COVID situation is not going to be better by mid-September. It affects all indoor spaces where you are likely to run into somebody who's not from your household, right? So at home, you're fine. You don't need to wear a mask at home. Nobody's going to come to your door. There's also, but anywhere you go to a store, you go to work, you go to school. I did reach out. The actual text of the order does not say anything about schools, and I know a lot of schools are debating this. Several schools have declared mask mandates already, including Madison. But those are all superseded. Because but it doesn't, the order does not mention schools specifically, but I did reach out to PHMDC to ask, are schools covered? And they said, yes, they are. So schools are all going to be masked when they start, at least for the first couple of weeks, due to this Dane County order. Now, there is no order regarding gatherings, right? That last fall, it was always mask mandate and gatherings of 10 or more people are prohibited, that kind of thing. That's not happening, right? There's no prohibition on outdoor gatherings or indoor gatherings or anything like that. It's just mask up. Keeping in mind that that we have a very high vaccination rate here in Dane County, right? We're like 70% vaccinated in Dane County, which means that this surge in cases, which now we're at like 91 cases per day, which is a 300% increase over the past couple of weeks. But we're not seeing a lot of hospitalization increase here in Dane County. We'll get to the hospitalization statewide. That's a whole different story. But in Dane County, we're not seeing a surge in hospitalizations, even with the surge in cases. However, I think the thinking on Dane County's part is they want to stem the tide. We're seeing this big surge. Let's stop it now before it gets to the point where we're hospitalizing children. Because let's face it, it's children that we're worried about. Those are the folks that are not vaccinated yet, and kids are getting it. I'm going to give you a little teaser here. I don't have a confirmation on all this yet, but I'm going to have a story tomorrow or the next day about a daycare center that has an outbreak, and that says several outbreaks. But kids are getting Delta variant. It's in childcare centers. There are childcare centers that are closing temporarily because of outbreaks among children. Okay, I'll have more details on that in a couple of days, but for now, just trust me. That's the population we're trying to protect with the mask mandate until such time as they can get vaccinated, which might not be till winter or later. Okay, so that's the deal. If you go anywhere, don't overthink it. If you're going somewhere, get the masks out again. Remember, go back and listen to the interview we had last week with Dr. Cheryl Henderson. Your mask has to fit, right? It's got to be snug. It doesn't have to be the N95, whatever. And that doesn't have to be the N95. It just has to be at least 2 layers of cloth, and it has to be snug, right? Those are your masks. That's not mandated, right? But that's what's going to work, right? So you have to just mask up. Now, in terms of the numbers statewide, that mask mandate is only Dane County, right? That is not statewide mask mandate. I don't anticipate. I don't anticipate anything on the state level. I just don't think that's going to happen. But the statewide numbers today don't look great. We are seeing 1,666 new cases today. 7-day average is now 1,218 new cases per day. It was 1,201 yesterday. Our daily average of deaths is now up to 4. And here's the worst news of the day. This is the worst news I'm going to give you today. On Monday, yesterday, 12 confirmed COVID deaths. That's the most we've had in ages, in many, many months. That's the most we've had, at least since January, I'm certain. Oh, no, that's not true. I'm sorry. In March, we did have a couple of days where there were 10 or 11. But certainly, the last time we had more than 12 was on February 25th. We had 15. But again, this is, you see an increase in cases. 4 weeks later, you see an increase in deaths. Okay. So that's what's happening now. We're seeing it. 12 deaths in a day. Our average 7-day average is up to 4. Related to that, hospitalizations also up again today. 683 people currently hospitalized. That's 23 more than yesterday. That's 158 more than 1 week ago. Intensive care unit population now 222 people hospitalized in the ICU with COVID infection. That's up 18 from yesterday. Again, that's almost a 10% increase just in one day. 66 more than a week ago. I'm concerned about the hospitalizations, to be honest. This tells us that the infection that's happening statewide is among unvaccinated people and is causing significant serious illness. The other number that's not great today is the positive test rate. This is kind of the key number, right? The key indicator, the key metric. It was down yesterday to 6.9%. Now it's back up to 7.1%. In the past 7 days, 7.1% of all COVID tests were positive. It's been kind of hovering right around that 7 for a little over a week now. It was actually all the way to 7.6 at one point, right? And it kind of came back down, and it's been kind of going up and down between 6.9 and 7.1 for the past 4 or 5 days. It's way too high. Okay, it's good that it's leveled off, right? Because it was going up very sharply for a couple of weeks. So it's leveled off around 7-ish, but that's bad. That's not good. That is that high, and that is staying that high. We need to be that below 3, right? Which means we need more testing, and also we need to get control of the infection, which is what prompting this mask mandate in Dane County. And I would imagine we'll start to see mask mandates in other places. I would imagine we'll see something like Racine County, Milwaukee, maybe. We'll see. We'll see about that. We're also seeing more events going virtual again, or canceling, or changing the way they're doing events. Everybody's kind of reacting to this right now. So if you have anything coming up, check and make sure that it's still happening or that it's not gone virtual. Aaron asked, are they breaking down hospitalizations and ICU by age group? Yes, but they made it a little bit harder to find. So we just don't have the staff to watch that data every day. But yeah, it's just not easy to get. So unfortunately, I don't have it for you right now. The DHS website, dhs.wisconsin.gov, you can find it. It's a little bit hard to find. You got to click around a little bit. But I can take a look and see for tomorrow's show and see if we can get a good number for you. All right, that's what I have for COVID. It's not good news. It's unfortunate. But we'll take a short pause. We'll hear from a sponsor. And we'll be back right after this with some more news and some soccer highlights if you want to stick around for that. Just something, a palate cleanser, if you like. Don't scroll away. We'll be back right after this.
I wasn't sure if it was the right time. Then I heard about the College Try.
You take classes for 7 days, see if it works for you.
No obligation, no worries. I kept going. I'm so glad I did.
I wanted to do online classes, but I didn't have a computer. The Madison College hooked me up.
You can borrow a college laptop and a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Seriously.
My dad always says, give it the old college try.
For real, give Madison College the college try.
Try Madison College risk-free for 7 days.
No commitment.
Just try it.
Like a free trial for college.
Like, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
All right, thanks for sticking with us. Africa Fest is this weekend. Again, we talked about a lot of events being canceled and rescheduled, but this is an outdoor event, so it's going to be okay. And it's a little scale back this year. Normally, you get about 3,000 people coming out to Africa Fest, but they're going to change up some of the activities so there's a little bit more space. But again, it's an outdoor event. There's no evidence that outdoor events are any more dangerous than any others. Bring a mask with you. If you're vaccinated, you're fine, probably. But this event not only celebrates African American culture. I mean, we have a lot of stuff that celebrates African American culture. This is one of the few events that celebrates African culture. Right? It's different, right? There's a really thriving African immigrant community here in Madison, and they have a parade of nations. Because Africa is not just one culture, right? You don't have to talk about African culture. There's hundreds of cultures in Africa, many of which are represented here in Madison. So it's 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's at McPike Park on Ingersoll Street. Should be a lot of fun for the whole family, for the kids. There's food, there's crafts, there's all sorts of stuff and fun stuff, including the Parade of Nations. And there's a 5K run. The proceeds all go to build water wells in Africa. So that's on Saturday, August 21st. Also on the website today, Dane dances this weekend, featuring VO5 and some other bands and some really cool stuff. The study circles on race are celebrating the 20th anniversary at Dane Dances this weekend. This was a thing that came out of a report in the late 90s about racial equity in Madison. And the study circles met for only 3 years. It was just kind of a logistical challenge. But they did some good work. They reported back to the city council in 2004, and they're getting together again to kind of reflect on that work and think about what's next, 20 years later, when things maybe haven't improved as much as a lot of those folks would have liked. So that's happening. It's happening Friday. That's what I have for the news. I have some didn't have time yesterday, but I have some highlights from a very fun soccer match on Saturday. Forward Madison against Tormentus from South Georgia. That big number 44 there. That's Josiah Trimmingham. He is an international player for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. He's a center back. He's a central defender. And this is his first game back with Madison. He had all sorts of visa issues, and then he was injured. And Carl Craig, the coach of Madison, put him at the striker position way up top. And it paid off pretty quickly, as you'll see. In the 23rd minute of this match, Zaya making the diagonal run and scoring with the left foot to put Madison ahead 1-0. And one of the most fabulous goal celebrations you'll ever see, headbutting the corner pole to the ground, which is great. We'll get another look at that goal. Terrific run from him. He did play striker in high school, which, when you're 26 or whatever, it wasn't that long ago, frankly. But he's obviously huge. He's 6'2", 210, a big imposing presence up top for the Flamingos. Later in the 38th minute, Phil Brino coming up big with the big save against Marco Micheletto, one of the leading goal scorers in this league. We'll get another look at that as well. Point blank range, 2 yards out, gets the save. A little bit of pushing and shoving right at the end of the first half. A couple of yellow cards handed out. Nothing really came of it. And then going in the second half, early in the second half, the wind came out of the sails a little bit for the Flamingos, as you'll see. Azad Liadi here on the attack will pushed Connor Tobin to the ground, and Connor just trying to get up. Leotti trips over his foot, and a penalty is awarded. A bit soft, but ultimately probably the right call. As I mentioned, Marco Nicoletto, one of the leading scorers in this league. You put him on the penalty spot, he's probably not going to miss. And he certainly doesn't. And just 2 minutes into the second half, the game is tied.
A quick script change to start things off in the second half. And replay. Marco Nicoletto. Brino guessed right, but that one zipped over to the back left corner.
That's why we need to see this 3 times. You don't need to rub it in. ESPN. Good build up here from Madison. Just about 15 minutes later, right about the little after the hour mark. Gustavo Fernandez up from his right back position with the in swinger. Justin Succo gets his head to it. Puts it in, goes ahead. 4 good.
Gets his second of the year.
This is a big formation change for Madison. They normally have 4 defenders. They're down to 3, so they could have an extra attacker. And it's paid off, as you can see. Fernandez from a soccer family. His dad played professionally in Brazil for 10 years, so he's got big things ahead of him. His brother plays for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. His younger brother plays for the Stony Brook University. Right at the death here, Tormented almost got the equalizer, and Brino was right there, and there's the final whistle. And there we go. It's a big win after 3 consecutive draws for Madison. They have another home game tomorrow against Toronto FC2, and then they host North Texas on Saturday, and then next Wednesday head over to North Carolina. They have 4 games in 11 days. If they get wins and draws in most of those, they could jump from about 8th place out of the 12 teams all the way to 3rd. If depending on what happens tonight, there's another game tonight that's important. But there's very possible that they could be, by the end of tomorrow night, be in 3rd place. The top 6 teams in this 12-team league make the playoffs, and that'll be in October. We're just past the halfway point of the season. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for your attention. It's a beautiful evening. Hope you can get out and enjoy it. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll cross our fingers and hope for better news on the COVID front. But in the meantime, put your mask on. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Enjoy your evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
This is 365 Media.